if we were holding tickets yesterday for the favorites in both of these games, what an easy non-sweat. But if you had those underdogs yesterday, they certainly didn't come in and bite. And if we take a look tonight, Teddy, before we get there in our doubleheader with the Rockets and the Warriors, let's take a look at last night. What? Raptors by 36? Nuggets by 26? We're talking about series here, Teddy, that were 2-2, pivotal game fives. So what had happened?
In both games, what happened was the favorite played their best game of the series, and the dog played their worst game of the series, and that's what happened. Philly-Toronto last night, it was a 1-point game early in the second quarter, and then you blink, and the Sixers are up 21, or the Sixers are down 21 at halftime. It was a monster Raptors run, and Philly made a little charge coming out in the third quarter, cut the lead, I think, to 13 or so, and it was 30 by the end of the quarter. Toronto played great. They played like a championship caliber team last night. They hadn't been the whole series, but last night they did in Philly. It was just a no-show. It really was. Jimmy Butler calling out the team after the game, and all of a sudden the Sixers could go on vacation if they don't win on Thursday night. As for the other game, it was a very similar. Look, the Blazers aren't going to win a whole lot of games on the road in the postseason when they're minus 18 on the boards and they only force 6 turnovers like they did last night. The defensive effort wasn't there. The effort on the glass wasn't there. Portland's, they're an okay team. They're a good team. They're not a great team. And the Nuggets played great last night. Certainly one-sided results and no sweating the fourth quarter of either one of these matchups, at least if you had a side wager.
You know what's interesting in this too, Ted, is when you take a look at the NBA, specifically that Sixers-Raptors game. It was a blowout from jump. Looks like the Sixers were disinterested, and you almost saw it coming when Joel Embiid is walking into the locker room like somebody stole his lunch money. But looking at this from a gambling perspective, when Joel Embiid is healthy, engaged, and ready to go, the Sixers obviously are a completely different team. Reading the tea leaves, Teddy, coming into yesterday, we were led to believe that Joel Embiid was, hey, look, respiratory infection, got his meds in, he's good to go, we're going to ride with him in Game 5, and he was awful again. And then you hear out of the locker room, hey, Joel Embiid was really sick. You should have saw his temperature. He could barely get out of bed. Getting this information and not having this information sometimes is key. But moving forward in the series, Ted, to Game 6, which will head back to Philadelphia, where they're going to try to stave off elimination. How do you approach this Joel Embiid situation where it seems like every single game is like a circus around this guy?
It's hard. And frankly, I don't know what I'm going to do, if anything, in Game 6. There's certainly a case to be made that what we saw last night from Toronto is the real Raptors, and what we saw last night from Philadelphia was the real Sixers. There's also a case to be made that when you look at Philly star power, they're good enough to win Game 6 and go on the road and win Game 7 against a Raptors team that we don't necessarily trust in the biggest game. So it's not an easy handicap. And to look at the info that we got yesterday from Embiid, which is like, okay, Embiid's ready to dominate, and then he wasn't, makes me a little bit reluctant to look at Philadelphia in Game 6 because we don't know what Embiid we're getting. And, last night I thought I was getting the good Embiid. I had a big bet on Philadelphia. I was pretty wrong. I was really wrong. The client's not happy with that one.
Hey, it is what it is, Teddy. We live to fight another day. More games on the docket, more money to be made. But how about last night? Maybe a little bit of throwback in Major League Baseball, Teddy. Fiers with another no-hitter under his belt. 131 pitches, which today is blasphemy. It's insanity. Why would you do that to your pitcher? His arm is probably going to fall off in the next game. But a wonderful performance last night, which was captivating. I believe in the 6th inning, Teddy, with back-to-back unbelievable plays. Won a stealing of a home run from Joey Votto. Nice work by Fiers.
Yeah, and a flat-out theft on that one. And when we talk about the pitchers, this is Fiers' second no-hitter. We talk about the pitchers that have current active pitchers that have accomplished this. It's the most random list you've ever seen. Yeah, you got the aces. Justin Verlander's got a pair. Max Scherzer's got a pair. Jake Arrieta, he's pretty good. He's got a pair. All right. And then you see Homer Bailey and Fiers on that list. You're like, what? Multiple no-hitters. The guy came into the game with a 6.81 ERA. He threw 131 pitches. It's worth noting that the game was delayed, almost 2 hours because there was a bank of lights out. They decided to play with the bank of lights out in the left field stand. Some of them popped on, but the bottom line is a little bit more difficult than the average night to see the ball, to hit the ball. That probably affected the no-hitter in a very positive manner for Oakland.
Yeah, it's interesting about that, too, with the light bank being out. Maybe they're going to have pitchers, sort of sabotage, one would say, in that old Oakland Alameda County College Jesus, Teddy, get this out for me. County Coliseum there, which, we can knock those lights back out. Maybe you get a little bit of a different approach from the pitchers. But Fiers, you brought up a good point there, Teddy. And it's the fun of, or maybe it's torturous of betting Major League Baseball, because you look at the ERA, almost close to 7, and the kid fires a no-hitter. It's amazing, isn't it?
That's why they call him Fiers. That's why his name.
Look at that. Did I tee that one up for you? Was that pretty good?
Sure. And of course, Oakland County Coliseum is the worst facility. Well, that and the Trop in Tampa are the 2 worst facilities in baseball. At least the sewage wasn't backed up in the visitors' locker room last night.
Yeah, a lot to go over in that, Teddy. NFL season, as always, right here on That Betting Show. We do preview a new NFL team each and every day. We're going to hit those San Francisco 49ers back to the Bay Area, Teddy. 2019, looking forward, 33-1 to win the championship, 16-1, Teddy, to win the NFC West, and the team total is 7.5 at multiple outlets out there. 49ers plagued by injury in 2018, still fought, even though they went 4-12, Teddy, losing their quarterback, losing a lot of skill position guys. I thought Kyle Shanahan did a pretty good job of holding it together, but looking forward here, spent a first round draft pick, the number 2 overall, on Nick Bosa to help out that pass rush. Also getting Deebo Samuel in the second round, loading up with a pass rush here in the offseason, also with Dee Ford. Look, I'm a buyer moving forward. I don't know if it's their year, so to speak, to win that division, but things are looking up to me for San Francisco, Teddy.
I'm going to say this right from the get-go. San Fran is going to be a hot team in the betting markets. The wise guys are hot on this team. The public doesn't mind Garoppolo and company. You could see San Fran being this year's Cleveland Browns as a team coming out of nowhere, attracting a bunch, of betting attention, getting wise guy support, getting public support. The sportsbooks are going to be rooting against the 49ers on a pretty consistent basis this coming season. You can feel that already. And when you feel that in May, the bandwagon's picking up here in Vegas. I haven't seen another team like San Fran yet that's attracted this level of support. We're already seeing the future money coming on the 49ers. We're already seeing the money coming on the 49ers on a game-by-game basis. That's wise guy money. Pay attention. Now, why do the wise guys like San Fran so much? First, look at their statistical profile last year. They were plus 0.4 yards per play. Teams that do that are supposed to finish above 500. San Fran, as you mentioned, was 4-12. They were plus 0.4 yards per rush. They outrushed their opponents. QB rating, well, here's where the issues were. Okay, on offense, obviously, when you're going with Nick Mullins and C.J. Beathard for most of the season, 87.8 QB rating, not bad. Defense, they allowed 105.4 opposing quarterbacks. Only Tampa was worse. And when it comes to turnover differential, why was San Fran so god-awful last year? Real simple. Minus 25 in turnovers, dead last in the NFL by far. Only 7 takeaways. That's an NFL record. Only 2 interceptions all season. That's an NFL record. And you throw in 32 giveaways, which was the second highest, it ends up with a team that when you lose a turnover battle every game, you don't win a lot of games. And the fact they covered as many point spreads as they did speaks volumes about Shanahan and company. You talked about the pass rush. They're expecting this pass rush to be a whole lot better. They added some good skill and talent. Remember, last year, their leading rusher and leading receiver, undrafted free agents. You bring in Tevin Coleman, you bring in Jordan Matthews, you guys that can play. The defense, we talked about the pass rush. I like the addition of Jason Verrett in the secondary, certainly, and a bunch of playmakers. Talk about Deebo Samuel with the number 2 pick, Jalen Hurd, the number 3 pick. These are 2 guys who could have an instant impact for Garoppolo right away. I'm bullish on the 49ers. If you like them over their win total, I bet it's sooner rather than later.